Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies might be the most divisive game in the Ace Attorney series. The reasons? The need to juggle with 3 protagonists because the previous game's protagonist wasn't really popular at the time, a bombastic and unsubtle style of writing, a weird overarching story that wants to follow up on its predecessor, Apollo Justice, in the strongest way, but also a strong emotional core, very memorable characters, and a unique epic feel. And at the center of the Schism, one character, Apollo Justice. And the Phantom, and I want to talk about the Phantom, so the Phantom it is. Obvious spoiler for Ace Attorney 5 Dual Destinies, but also for Apollo Justice and Spirit of Justice. The Phantom is the main antagonist of the game and is responsible for the murder of Athena's mother in an incident called the UR1 incident, the sabotage of the Hat-1 rocket, the bombing of courtroom number 3, the sabotage of the Hat-2 rocket, and the murder of Apollo's best friend, Claire Theron. He is also indirectly responsible for Blackwell's false conviction and partially responsible for the beginning of the dark age of the law where the end justifies the means and where the sky is red. He is an uncatchable spy with an unknown identity and employer, being given the nickname of Phantom by, I don't know, the government and its agencies probably. The shadow of the Phantom is felt over the last 2 cases in the game. The first image we see of the Phantom is from Athena's memory, a masked man seeming to be out of a slasher movie. When the truth about the UR1 incident comes out, Blackwell reveals that the Phantom killed her because she managed to create a psychological profile of him. This profile reveals that the Phantom feels no emotions. With that knowledge and some insane deductions, Phoenix managed to reveal his identity, Bobby Fulbright, the goofy and emotional detective that helped you during the game. In the final battle, the Write Anything agency, with the help of Simon Blackwell, slowly breaks down the Phantom's actions and motives. It's also revealed that the true Bobby Fulbright is dead and that the Phantom is impersonating him. In fact, the Phantom has dozens of masks and can impersonate anyone. He has no identity and doesn't remember who he was before he was a spy. After pushing hard enough and showing proof that the man on the witness stand can only be the culprit, the Phantom has a literal emotional breakdown, an identity crisis, and is shot by an assassin, barely surviving. The Phantom's true face or name is never revealed, but everyone wins, Athena is saved, the truth is revealed, and we mentally destroy our enemy, so it's okay. As you can see, the Phantom is a very unique villain in the series. In a series with characters and villains with strong personalities and motives, more or less, writing a villain supposed to have no personality, no self, is audacious. And like the game he appears in, the Phantom is really divisive. From people saying that he appears too late in the game, that it's too goofy, or others. Some I agree, some I don't, but 2 criticisms catch my attention. The Phantom has no personality, and the Phantom has no motive. The first one is strange, as it seems to be taking the game's statement about the Phantom being no one from a Doylist perspective. Because the game says he has no self, it becomes a writing flaw rather than a personality trait from these people's point of view. I strongly disagree, as he's probably the most unique character in the entire series. The Phantom is an emotionless spy, constantly switching personalities and behaviors, using spy gadgets mid-trials. He's full of personality. The second one, stating that he has no motive in the game beyond doing his job, is even stranger, as it is simply not true. Let's see. Why did the Phantom kill Métis Sachs? To recover the psych profile that she made of him. Why did the Phantom sabotage the Hat-1 rocket? To accomplish his mission, but also to destroy the Moonstone, which has his DNA on it. Why did the Phantom bomb courtroom number 3? To destroy this same Moonstone. Why did he kill Bobby Fulbright? To get close to Blackwell because he thought he knew where was the psych profile. Why did he kill Claire Theron? To take the Hope capsule containing the Moonstone. He even used his sabotage mission of the Hat-2 rocket to create an escape route from the crime scene of Claire Theron's murder. Everything he does in this game is done, partially or not, for one thing, to protect his identity. That's his actual motive. Having his identity revealed is the Phantom's greatest fear, as it will put him at the mercy of everyone who wants him dead, and a lot of people want him dead. To protect this identity and to accomplish his mission, the Phantom uses mask and disguise. In the game, we directly see him impersonate Bobby Fulbright, Solomon Starbuck, Aristotle Means, and Phoenix Wright, But we also know that 7 years ago he wore Metis Sykes' Space Center jacket and a mask to fool the robot's recognition system to make it believe that he was Metis Sykes. The Phantom is an actor in a way. In this image from Athena's memory, the Phantom is wearing a no mask, basically a form of Japanese theater. Yeah, I'm simplifying things a lot. The goal is to make you understand this idea that the Phantom is an actor. He takes on the role of many different people. But unlike actual actors, the Phantom uses his acting ability not for entertainment, but for deception. He can fool and manipulate anyone. He is a backstabber. From this point of view, he acts as a conceptual embodiment of the Dark Age of the Law. So, the game has a tough time figuring out what actually is the problem with the Dark Age of the Law. Is the problem corrupt lawyers and false evidence, the end justifies the means, or is the problem the public's distrust in the legal system? Either way, the game's story focuses more on the second, especially in Turnabout for Tomorrow. The point of defeating the Phantom isn't to stop corrupt actors of the legal system from doing stuff, but to restore the trust in the legal system. So really, it's a time where no one in the legal system is trusted and where we even doubt our main character. Trust and doubt are the main themes of the game. The Phantom then acts as a representation of the Dark Age of the Law. He is someone who can never be trusted, but who also doesn't trust anyone. That second aspect being a clear consequence of his job. He is doubt and distrust. In opposition, the game tells us that in order to trust each other, we have to open to one another. This is what Athena does. She thought she was alone and couldn't trust anyone, but by opening up, by accepting to share her doubts and traumas, she was able to trust others, and others were able to trust her. Apollo had doubts about Athena, but he trusted Phoenix enough to uncover the truth so he could face them. The Phantom protecting his identity is him refusing to open up, and refusing to trust anyone. That's why the final battle against him is spent slowly revealing who he is. We reveal his motive, we reveal his lack of emotions to everyone thanks to the Matrix, then we can see Bobby Fulbright's cheerful front fading away. He revealed his mask-changing and identity-changing ability, and in the end, we discover his only fear. The Phantom spent his life as a spy building a front to protect himself. He repressed his emotions to the point of almost not feeling any. He managed to hide his identity to the world so well and impersonated so many people that he himself forgot who he truly was. He even forgot who he was before being a spy. He forgot his own past. He became the Phantom, an endless abyss from his own words. But like I said, all of that is a front. The Phantom, the endless abyss, is a shell protecting him. In the final battle, with Blackwell's help, the 3 lawyers of the Write Anything agency manage to break that shell. In the end, the Phantom has no more mask to hide his true self. We may never see his true face, but we revealed his identity, who he truly is. A weak and lonely man who can't trust anyone and who's scared of everything. I may sound very confident in what I'm saying, but it's pretty much spelled out by the characters in the final battle, so there isn't really any doubt on the accuracy of what I'm saying. Really, I'm just giving more details. The victory against the Phantom is an ideological victory. It's the victory of trust against the constant doubt and distrust in store by the Dark Age of the Law. The sky is no longer red, and yes, the power of friendship won. But it's not the only ideological victory that the heroes won. Athena, the protagonist introduced in this game, has repressed memories. Memories so traumatic that her mind made her forget them. Blackwell is terrified by a past event and refuses to reveal what happened. Solomon Starbuck has a phobia of space because of the event of the Hat 1 miracle, even though he dreams of returning to the stars. The Dark Age of the Law emerged because of past mistakes made by the legal system. Turnabout for Tomorrow's intro says it all. No one can escape their past, the sin we've committed, and the sadness we've caused. No matter how far we run, our past remains as ever present as the moon in the sky. It looms in wait for the day we have to face it, but only in doing so can we truly make peace and move in hope towards tomorrow. Athena has to remember and face her trauma of the murder of her mother for the truth to come to light and to have catharsis. Blackwell has to reveal what he saw 7 years ago to save himself and, ultimately, Athena. In the game's last cutscene, Starbucks faces his fear of space, his past trauma, and go back to the stars, finding the strength thanks to his friend. And the actors of the legal system have to fix this past mistake for this legal system to get better. In particular, Phoenix and Blackwell, two people who unintentionally caused the beginning of the dark age of the law in the past, had to put an end to it. We have to face our past, no matter how traumatic or shameful it is, to be able to move forward. That's why this final case is called Turnabout for Tomorrow, or Turnabout to the Future in Japanese. Another title that I want to mention is Turnabout for Tomorrow's French title, Demain est une autre volte-face, which would translate to Tomorrow is another turnabout. This title is clearly based on the phrase Tomorrow is another day, a phrase meaning no matter how hard life can be now, you have to keep moving forward as the future might get better. I just think it's really nice and fitting for this case because it's a story about moving forward. The setting is a space station after all, a place that represents the future of humanity. Athena, with her mood matrix, is supposed to be a courtroom révolutionnaire, bringing change to the legal system thanks to a new technology. I think you get it. It's a nice through-line that runs through the strange trilogy that is the Apollo Justice trilogy. The three games are about change and revolution in one way or another. The main antagonists of both Apollo Justice and Spirit of Justice oppose these themes. Christoph Gavin is a corrupt lawyer who can't move on from a 7 years long grudge and who can't imagine the law changing. Garan Sigatakurain is a dictator embodying a corrupt legal system who wants to shut down a revolution to stay in power at all costs. They are the enemies of change. But what about the other main villain of this trilogy? What about the Phantom? So remember the themes we were talking about? You have to face your past in order to be able to move forward. The obvious thing to understand in regard to this theme is that the Phantom embodies the past. Athena's past, to be more precise. He's the origin of her trauma after all, the memory she repressed. He's absolutely Athena's boogeyman, like, look at this. This is absolutely a sleep paralysis demon. The Phantom is the past Athena needs to overcome to be able to move forward. Not only that, but we can notice the link between the Moonstone and the notion of hope. The Moonstone was stored in a hope capsule after all, and Phoenix calls Athena's earring, made with the same moonstone, a small fragment of hope in the end. The moonstone, as a material recovered thanks to humanity's scientific progress, represents hope for the future. The Phantom trying to destroy it at all costs acts as an enemy not only of hope for the future, but also of change and progress, like Christoph and Garam, even if it's more symbolic. In the final battle, the Phantom also tries to discredit Athena, the courtroom révolutionnaire, and her mood matrix. But the judicial system embraces the future as the judge accepts the mood matrix as a valid tool to find the truth. The mood matrix then turns out to be instrumental in the Phantom's defeat, kinda mirroring Christoph being defeated by the justice system. Two enemies of change defeated by evolutions in the legal system. But you could also have another interpretation. The Phantom also says he left his memories behind, he doesn't even remember what his personality was like before he was a spy. He left his past behind. He refuses to face it, and prefers to run away from it. In the game, he's constantly trying to destroy any proof of what he's done in the past. Bear with me here because it's not as obvious as the symbolic of the Phantom's identity, but it absolutely makes sense. The Phantom killed Betty Sachs 7 years ago, and as any good killer tries to do, he tries to erase any trace of him in the crime scene. He tried to destroy the Moonstone and, just for good measure, tried to get Athena, the girl who hurt him and spilled his blood on the Moonstone 7 years ago, arrested, even though she forgot he was the killer. But because no one can escape their past, Athena was found not guilty and contributed to his defeat, and even though he sent it to space and tried to blow it up twice, the Moonstone survived. But the nail in the coffin, the final evidence, is Athena's earring, given by Metis to her daughter as a proof of her love and the last fragment of hope the Phantom couldn't reach. In the end, the Phantom's past victim came back to haunt him and to destroy his final defense. Athena was able to face and overcome her past thanks to the bond of trust she made, but the lonely Phantom who can't trust anyone is unable to do the same. In this way, Dual Destinies kinda act as a quintessential Ace Attorney game. As its nature as a murder mystery series, the characters and their relationship to the past is an overarching theme in every game. Dual Destinies simply made it one of its main themes. In one way or another, almost every important character in the franchise has a past to face. And through the help of others, courage, and a little bit of hope, they might be able to overcome it and move forward to a better tomorrow. Hi, hello. Yes, okay, so I don't have a script for this part, so I just have two main points I want to make. So first, I'm not fluent in English, as you can probably hear really, so I partly do this video to get better in English. So there's that. Also, the main subject of this channel won't be Ace Attorney. My next video isn't gonna be about Ace Attorney. I just want to talk about what I want to talk really. So yeah, don't expect Ace Attorney videos always like no. And yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks a lot really.